Breaking at 10, a major water main break is impacting Charlotte right now. And take a look at this gusher from earlier this afternoon on Remount Road at Revolution Park just west of 77. Tens of thousands of people are impacted tonight as the outage stretches across the city from Plaza Midwood through Uptown and out to the airport. Hundreds of businesses have been forced to shut down, and a boil water advisory is also now in effect for the next 48 hours for those impacted.
And at Charlotte Douglas, the lack of water caused officials to close bathrooms and delay flights. Now, right now, many passengers are still frustrated dealing with trying to make their new connections. Well, we have team coverage tonight on this massive water main break across the Queen City. Fox 46's Ryan Kruger is live at the airport where things are starting to get back to normal. And chief political correspondent Emma Withrow is live in Uptown with more on business closures due to the water outage.
Yeah, but first, let's get right out to Fox 46's Will Lewis, who has you covered on the progress city workers are making to repair this critical water main. And Will, what's the status there right now? And also, what's the new info on this boil water advisory?
Well, Brian, just like you guys said, that boil water advisory just went into effect, and it's for anyone who has been affected with low water pressure or no water at all, and they need to boil water for the next 48 hours. Now, here out at the scene, there are a few crews that have showed up, but no work has really started yet. But the area where that water main break took place still remains closed. Now, Charlotte Water sent out that first tweet at 5:56 this evening that they were working on a water main break at Remount Road, the break right next to the Irwin Creek Greenway. And as crews were looking at the break, a couple of people who were in the area started posting video on social media. A couple of those videos showing water shooting high above the street. Now, the break has caused low water pressure or no water in several areas, so many that Charlotte Mayor Viola mentioned the incident during a council meeting and asked residents not to call 911, saying that the city was aware of the break and that crews were working on it. But for those who weren't listening to that meeting, they were frustrated because they couldn't find any information about what was happening.
I was really surprised I couldn't, Google or find an answer quicker. So I figured there'd be a quicker route to it. But once I saw it on Twitter, I knew, I was close by, so I saw myself.
Now, like we said, we're back out here and crews are here, but no one has started any work. And, Tom Platt that we talked to that you just heard from said he didn't find out anything. He called 311. He couldn't find out anything. He said he actually had to download the Twitter app just so he could find out what was happening before he walked down here. Now, other people that came by to see this water main break worked at local restaurants which were closed or lived close by, just hoping they would get water once again. We're live in Charlotte. We'll send it back to you.
Boy, it's got to be frustrating for so many people and businesses tonight. Will, thank you. And continuing our key team coverage of this massive water outage tonight with Fox 46's Ryan Kruger, who's live at Charlotte Douglas International Airport.
And Ryan, how's the situation there now? We're understanding that things are starting to get back to normal.
Yeah, really what a difference a couple hours makes. About 90 minutes ago, airport officials announced water pressure has returned to normal. They reopened all of the restrooms. They were flushing the lines, cleaning things up. Before then, though, not surprisingly, a lot of passengers were telling us they were very frustrated. But as we take a live look now at what things are going on, the good news is because it is late, 10 o'clock, most flights have taken off. Really no lines at security. People are able to move through pretty easily on. But I do want to show you some video that we took. This is about 6:30 this evening where we actually had restrooms that were closed because of this. We also found out that restaurants were closed as well. In fact, none of those restaurants have reopened since then. I did talk to one passenger. He told me that the flight crew actually told everyone when they landed, you need to use the restroom on the plane because everything is closed inside of the airport. They were trying to let people know that as best as they could. I spoke to one man. He was worried because he actually his connected flight had been rerouted to a different airport. He was worried he was about to miss it. And this guy is flying. He says he flies 100 days a year. He's never seen anything like this before.
I travel a lot. I mean, I've seen a lot of weird things happening, a lot of delays, a lot of acts of God and stuff like that. This is the first time I've ever had an airport closed from water. So it's frustrating, but I don't know at what level I would consider my frustration because this is a one-off.
Yeah, he brings up a good point. You know, I certainly have never heard of anything like this before. He's never heard of anything like this before. So he was saying he was trying to take it all in stride, not be too frustrated. Now, coming up in the next half hour, we'll give you another look at how things are looking here. Plus, I'm going to tell you about how some of the restaurants and shops here had to pivot to be able to still serve customers while they were here. That's coming up in about 30 minutes. But for now, we are live at Charlotte Douglas International. Ryan Kruger, Fox 46.
Ryan, thank you. We look forward to it. And the airports and the neighborhoods are not the only places being impacted by that huge water main break tonight. Businesses across the area have not been able to open up.
Yeah, impacted especially hard of the local restaurants. Continuing our team coverage tonight, our chief political correspondent Emma Withrow is doing double duty now live in Uptown. And Emma, some restaurants, they had to close for this all-important dinner rush tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen a ton of people wandering around Uptown, seeming pretty confused when they try to go to their favorite late night eats and the door's locked. But that's actually the case with the majority of restaurants around here. We're here at 5 Church, and they tweeted out earlier tonight that they were going to close early. But for a lot of restaurants, they just locked their doors and put signs up to only be greeted by those disappointed customers hoping to get a late night bite.
Just got done with the convention and we were going out. It was pretty early, going to grab dinner, and not a single restaurant downtown was open. So we were kind of moving from block to block, trying to find a place that was available, and couldn't find anything around here. So we had to call an Uber, and we're heading further uptown to where we can grab dinner tonight.
5 Church did tweet that they'll be back open at 5 p.m. tomorrow, but I reached out to other restaurants around Uptown. I called a bunch of them. None of them answered. I'm assuming the majority are closed. But luckily, I have some frozen pizza at home, so I'm going to stick to that for tonight. Back to you guys.
Emma, I think a lot of people are doing that tonight. Thank you so much for that report.